This is finding reciprocal trig ratios with Kent and Chow. So here we have problem 1, and it's asking to list the 6 trigonometric ratios for angle C in this triangle. And to refresh your memory, 3 main trig ratios are sine, cosine, and tangent. If you forgot what they are, you can use the commonly used acronyms. So COTOA, which stands for sine is equals to opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is equals to adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. So what is opposite, hypotenuse, and adjacent? In this triangle, we can see angle C is the angle that they're asking us to use for reference for the trig ratios. And here's the 90-degree marker. Directly across from the 90-degree marker is the longest side, or the hypotenuse. Going back to angle C, across from it, or opposite from it, is the opposite side. And the adjacent side is the side that's touching the angle, but also not the hypotenuse. So in this case, it's this side. So here are the first 3 main trig ratios: sine, cosine, and tangent. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So you look at angle C, the reference angle, find opposite over hypotenuse, which is 15 over 17. Then we move on to cosine, which is adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent is 8 over the hypotenuse of 17, 8 over 17. And the last but not least is tangent, which is opposite over adjacent, 15 over 8. In addition to these 3 trig ratios, there are the reciprocal trig ratios of them, which is cosecant, secant, and cotangent. So, as the name implies, reciprocal, it's the opposite of these. So we could just take these and inverse them, but for the sake of learning, I will go through this with you guys. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse, and if we're going to find the inverse of sine, then we want to find hypotenuse over opposite. Hypotenuse is 17 over opposite, which is 15, so cosecant would be 17 over 15. Secant, or the opposite of cosine, is the inverse of cosine, so it would be hypotenuse over adjacent. Hypotenuse 17 over adjacent of 8, so we have 17 over 8. Okay, cotangent is the opposite of tangent, and as we can see, tangent is opposite over adjacent. So in order to find cotangent, we want to find adjacent over opposite. Adjacent, 8 over 15, 8 over 15. And there we have the 6 trig ratios. That's the end of the lesson.